What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, we got to talk about Tomb Raider yet again. Now, I know people will say, Alex, you always do this, and, we talk about when's the time we're going to see this game, and is this year the time, or is next year the time, or is last year the time, and it hasn't happened. Well, here's the thing. We do know it's going to happen, right? I think, can we all agree on that? Unless they're having a day that, WB had yesterday, or PlayStation sometimes has, unless they're having some really bad days. The Tomb Raider game has been in the works for many, many years. In fact, the game, I think, is way closer than you probably think it is. By the time we see it, the game probably should come out within a year or two after. This is not a game that we'll see, at least hopefully. It's not a game we'll see that will then release 5 years, like a Wonder Woman or Wolf Among Us or Elder Scrolls or things like that. It's not going to happen. Best case scenario, but also I'd say most realistic scenario. Okay, well, I bring to you a potential good news rumor, which is this individual. His name is Daniel Camillo, and now he's a contributor at GameIndustry.biz. They're pretty checked into the gaming industry, so they're a little bit more reliable than most out there. Now, this individual maybe went rogue, maybe did whatever, but went on Twitter or X or whatever and said some games that will be revealed/announced this year: Tomb Raider, new AAA main title; Fire Emblem Remake, Nier Automata sequel; Castlevania, EA FC26. Different reliable sources, fairly confident. Now, to play devil's advocate, and then we can kind of be positive beyond that, a lot of these games, I would say, individually have been talked about. So, just going through the list, right? Tomb Raider, look, we know Tomb Raider exists, so, that's, we'll separate that for now. This is the first time, I believe, at least that I have seen anything about a Fire Emblem remake, so maybe that's new. Nier Automata, there's been signs. There's been signs that you're going to get a new Nier game, okay? From them, from the studio, not even just insiders. Now, plus that, other insiders have also talked about that, so he is not the first one to do it. If I only saw him say that, I would say, okay, maybe he's riding off of other people. Maybe he saw about Nier and he puts it in his tweet. You could say that, and that's possible, but there's the other ones too, right? Castlevania, we just talked about that. I don't think he's the one that started the Castlevania one. Again, I think that was somebody else, but that's on the list. And then EA FC26 with a winking face. I don't know much about the EA. I don't care to know much about, I should say it like that. The EA Sports franchises, so I don't know what the winking face. I'm not knowledgeable, into that. So I don't know. You could believe him if you want. You don't have to believe him, but I could say that Tomb Raider is going to be shown this year. In fact, I probably did say that Tomb Raider is going to be shown. Eventually, these people, eventually me, are going to be right. Somebody's going to be right at some point. So again, if you want to believe it, great. If you don't, no big deal. I do think this is the year. Yet again, I thought last year was the year, but just every year that goes, I would just fall back on the idea that they've been working on this game for a very long time, super long. It's you think about the Wonder Womans and some of the games that we've seen trailers for, and you say, oh, it's been so long since we've seen it. Well, there's games that actually have been longer than that, or just as long. 007, right? Never saw a trailer for that game, but they announced it, I think, earlier than Wonder Woman, and we haven't seen anything on that. So there are games that are announced that we know of, BioShock, right? There's actually plenty. Crysis, the list continues, that we know about and they've announced, but we haven't actually seen anything. And some of them could be in worse spots than the games that we have seen, the Wolverines, the Wonder Womans, the Elder Scrolls, stuff like that. So eventually they're gonna be shown. It's just kind of when, right? So I hope he's right. To give credit to him, he does say they are from sources. He has sources and he says fairly confident, right? So it could be people that literally told him, but we have heard about these other things. I do think we will get another Nier game. We'll hear about that this year. Castlevania, we've been hearing about that the last couple of days. I did a video on it 2 days ago on the channel. So, I don't know. I don't know if you want to believe him. I kind of would, but at the same time, it's not that hard. Those games in particular, except for the EA one, I could say those. And actually, we've covered things that would lead you to believe that those are going to be announced this year. So I hope it's this year, and I honestly think it will be. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.